Welcome back to a Clan a Day podcast brought to you by bagtownclans.com. I'm your host, Colin MacDonald, and today we're exploring the history of a unique and storied Scottish clan with ancient Gaelic roots and a Norse twist, Clan Nicolson. Known in the Highlands as Clan MacNicol or Clan MacNeacail, this clan's history is one of alliances, feuds, and even a tale of two separate clans with the same name. Let's dive into the captivating history of the Nicholsons and MacNicols. Our story begins in Ross-shire in the remote and rugged district known as Ness, including regions like Assynt, Ideracalis and Duirinish. This is where we first encounter the ancestors of Clan Nicolson, originally known as Clan MacNicol or MacNicale, a Gaelic clan descended from the 12th century figure MacNicol, sometimes also called Gregor. MacNicol's story is one of bravery. He famously rescued a great herd of cattle from Norwegian invaders. For this act, he was rewarded with the district of Assynt, and from there, the MacNicols established their early territory along the coast near Ullapool, laying the foundations of their influence in northern Scotland. The saga of Clan Nicolson took a significant turn around the early 1300s when the MacNicol line ended in an heiress. She married Torquil MacLeod, a younger son of MacLeod of Lewis. Through this union, the MacLeods acquired the lands of Assynt, merging two families that would come to shape much of Northern Highland history. Although the MacNicols lost control of Assynt, they relocated to the Isle of Skye, establishing a new base at Scoirbreak near Portree, a place that would remain central to the clan for centuries. Even after their relocation, the MacNicols retained a fierce sense of independence. In one legendary incident, the clan's head, known as MacNicol Mor, got into a heated argument with MacLeod of Ross-shire. Misinterpreting the situation, MacLeod's servant intervened, fatally wounding MacNicol Mor. To prevent an all-out feud, a council of clan chiefs convened and, following an ancient tradition, ruled that the Laird of Ross-shire should be executed by the humblest of the MacNicols, a man named Lomac, known for making pannier baskets. With justice served, this unusual form of restitution preserved the peace between the MacLeods and MacNicols. The MacNicols, now largely based on Skye, left a legacy evident in places like Loch Snizort, where the ruins of a chapel they endowed can still be seen. A small chapel, now called MacNicol's Isle, holds a warrior effigy, a reminder of the clan's ancient prominence. Stories of the MacNicols continue to echo in folklore well into the 19th century. One story tells of Gwalan Crostad, a MacNicol clansman with an unusual rule. He refused to look back, earning him the nickname Antialsanach, or the philosopher. Another clan hero, Gillespie MacNicol, reportedly fought government soldiers after the last Jacobite rising, freeing a prisoner but losing his nose in the skirmish, a dramatic sacrifice for clan loyalty. Clan Nicholson's history took another interesting twist in the 1980s when the Lord Lion King of Arms recognised not one but two Nicholson chiefs. Clan Nicolson was divided between Highland and Lowland branches, each with distinct lineages and histories. The Highland Nicholsons, or MacNicols, centred around Skye and Assynt, while the Lowland Nicholsons were based around Lasswade, near Edinburgh. The Lowland branch traces back to James Nicholson, a 16th century lawyer from Edinburgh. His family achieved notable status, with James's son becoming Bishop of Dunkeld in 1606 and his grandson receiving a baronetcy in Nova Scotia in 1629. This baronetcy eventually led to the title of Baron Carnock, the current head of Clan Nicholson's Lowland branch. In the 1980s, David Nicholson, the fourth Baron Carnock, successfully petitioned to be recognised as chief of Clan Nicolson. Around the same time, a Highland Nicholson descendant, Ian Nicholson, also sought to revive his own line's leadership. To distinguish the two, the Lord Lion decreed that Ian would be recognised as Ian MacNicol of MacNicol and Scorrybrek, chief of the Highland clan MacNicol, but only if he officially changed his surname to the Gaelic MacNicol. Thus, the two Nicholson clans were formally separated, with David representing the Lowland branch and Ian leading the Highland MacNicols. Interestingly, although both clans share the same name in English, they differ in their heraldic symbols. The Lowland Nicolsons bear a crest featuring 3 falcons' heads, while the Highland MacNicols display hawks' heads, subtly marking the distinction between the two clans. Despite their similarities, there's no strong genealogical link between the branches. Their shared name likely stems from a common use of the Gaelic MacNicol for son of Nicol, a name popularised across Scotland by Norse influence. The Norse connection to the clan is also preserved in historical accounts. During the Scottish-Norwegian War, Anders Nicolason, a Norse noble and foster brother to Norway's King Haakon IV, led a raid on the Isle of Bute. Although the Norse were defeated at the Battle of Largs, tradition holds that Nicolason may have later settled in Scotland, his descendants forming part of the Nicholson line. In recent centuries, Clan Nicolson has contributed several noteworthy figures to Scottish life. Reverend Donald MacNicol was celebrated for his defence of the Highlands against the criticisms of Dr. Samuel Johnson, while Sir William Robertson Nicoll became a prominent journalist, founder of the British Weekly, and a champion of Scottish writers. Alexander Nicholson, a Gaelic scholar and sheriff substitute, left a lasting impact with his revision of the Gaelic Bible and collection of Gaelic proverbs, preserving Highland culture for future generations. Today, Clan Nicholson's heritage is honoured by 2 societies, each celebrating the unique identities of the Lowland Nicolsons and Highland MacNicols. Clan MacNeacail even acquired 130 acres of land near Portree in 1987, a tribute to their ancient seat. The Nicholsons and MacNicols have survived centuries of change, leaving behind a legacy of resilience, cultural pride, and intriguing tradition. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of Clan Nicolson. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for another episode of A Clan a Day podcast. I'm Colin MacDonald, and as always, go in airy and both are leet.